time in their history, a manpower crisis is forcing the Marines to ask how much pain they can inflict if they want to appeal to the recruits they so desperately need. Some believe the only way is the hard way.
What you've had this week in the form of corrective PT has been a progression, and it continues to progress to get harder and longer.
Others think the hardship is too much to handle.
No one likes to be spoken to like a piece of shit. No one likes that, and no one can take it.
That is your problem. You're doing what you think is right and not what you're being told to do.
How many of the 53 recruits we start out with will make it through the pain barrier?
Much of what we do here is inherently dangerous. We have lost, in the last 4.5, maybe 5 years, 4 people. 2 of them were congenital heart failures, and so tragically they may well have died in whatever walk of life they were in at that stage. The other 2 were training accidents. One was a heat exhaustion, tragically on the 30-miler, and the other was a drowning, which is currently an ongoing investigation. We try to make things here as safe as they can possibly be.
Every fortnight, a new batch of recruits arrives at Lympstone in Devon to begin the 30-week Royal Marine Commando course. 30th of August 1999, and 53 young men arrive for their first day of training. Our boys are joining in troubled times. Too many recruits are opting out of training, and there are disagreements about how to stop the rot.
My name's Major Walls, and I'll be a company commander for the next 30 weeks, or should I say 210 days. You are now in day 1 of training. You have now joined our corps, and you're now going to wear our cat badge, and therefore behave accordingly. Before taking the oath, is there anyone here who wishes not to attest? If so, they are free to leave now.
I, James Christopher Fletcher.
I, Dean Patrick Elliott.
I, Robert Jack Dunn.
I, Kevin Robert Dyte.
I, Jack Davis.
I, Stephen Peter Conliffe.
Oh, David Colan.
Swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, and that I will, as is duty bound, honestly and faithfully defend Her Majesty. So help me God.
I think it's a leap into the great unknown. For a 16-year-old that's never been away from home before, the contrast between life at home, where Mum does his bedroom and cooking and cleaning and all the rest of it, that comparison is stark. So he arrives here rather confused, very uncertain, and he needs a lot of guidance and a lot of careful handling.
What's that?
Dirt, Simon.
Dirt. Dirt in the doorway. That's obviously acceptable these days, is it?
No, Sergeant.
No, damn right it's not. In fact, I'm disgusted at what I can see. Unbelievable. So therefore, you can consider yourself failed, and you can also stand by. The whole troop can stand by. You're taking a piss. Point 1. Accommodation is a bag of shite. Point 2. In future, when we're tying this accommodation, if we say put anything in the team store, it means put it away fucking neatly. Looks like a sack of shit in there. You're dropping the standards. One thing we do not like to see are poor standards when you're left to your own devices.
I was shocked at my reaction actually turning up at the gate. I was scared, basically. It was a bit of panic and shock, and it's like, hang on, if I step through that gate, that's, you know, it's going to totally change my life. So I shoved up loads of photos from when I went travelling, just to remind me of my previous life. And so it does help when I'm ironing and stuff to look up and see the photos and think, oh yeah, I remember that day, and then you just go off thinking about it.
Dad was here a good, I think it's 20 years now. He was trained here.
When I speak to him on the phone, he says, "You're not here to do it for him, I'm here to do it for myself." I know that deep in my heart that I'm here to do it for myself, but at the same point I think to myself, well, if my dad's done it, I can do it. But no matter how hard I find it, I'm just not going to give up, no way.
Recruits giving up and leaving is a real problem for the Marines, a problem which Colonel Lindley is trying to address.
In theory, every man that comes here has the ability to get through training. And if that's the case, well, why is it then that 50% of them don't make it through training? Well, the bottom line is that of that 50% that go, 42% go because they don't want to be here any longer. And maybe that's where the work needs to take place.
The recruits are out on their first exercise, where every day begins with a kit inspection.
You were told 0800. 5 minutes before means 0755, which means you have 1 minute. I suggest you get everything laid out, stand perfectly still, at ease, with your weapon across your shoulder. It's too late to clean it now, just place it out. Everyone, look on the floor.
I was a young lad, 16-year-old, when I joined up, and it was certainly stricter then than it is now. I was brought up strict, with a disciplined background. I was trained strict with a disciplined background, and I think that's why I've stayed the way I am.
What's in there? Mud and dirt, isn't it? Down, stop banging them out. Can't remember at this stage that was sergeant, not a corporal. Your boots polished?
No, sergeant.
No. Right, and as your feet are your mode of transport, I suggest we look after them. You haven't done it, have you? Why not? Do you know better? No? You haven't cleaned your weapon. Let's stay at that. You haven't cleaned your boots. I'll tell you what, you can't be bothered to put the effort in. We'll get the effort out of you. You have 2 minutes. Pack your kit, get on the flank. Arms above your head. Hey, back, turn. Up to the tent. Do not rest your weapon.
Those who failed the inspection and been put on the flank are taken off for corrective training, known to the recruits as a beasting or a thrashing, a tried and tested method for sorting out the strugglers.
One straight line facing me. Okay, man. Pays to be a winner, doesn't it? Yeah? Everybody remember where checkpoint 1 was last night? That tree down there. Yeah? It pays to be a winner. Go. Get up, lunatics. Don't break your legs. The idea of this is to tell them not to do what they've done again this morning. This is about the 3rd time this week that they've been picked up for not doing their administration. We can't stress enough to them how important it is to do personal administration. If they can't look after themselves at this early stage, then they're going to be a liability to everybody else. Yes, this may seem an archaic or a rather vicious or painful way of dealing with things, but they've got to understand that this will be so painful that it will give them the kick at the backside they need to say to themselves, right, I'm going to start working at the level required and I'm not going to get picked up again. And then I would say 50, 60, maybe even 70% of these will not get picked up again after this. Those that do are obviously in the wrong business, and then we'll weed them out. About turn, all of you lot, about turn, round Corporal Cassidy and back again. Told you it pays to be a winner. If you put as much effort in as they did, you wouldn't be doing it again. Go. Problem? 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 No? Right, carry on then.
What I encourage all the instructors here to do is balance discipline with compassion and understand what is going on in the mind of the young recruit. So, for example, if we're out on exercise and the troop decides that actually it's not very happy and it doesn't produce the goods on the inspection in the morning or whatever the serial is in the morning, is it actually very helpful for then the instructors to seek not retribution but to implement a punishment to make the point to the recruits who are going through training at that time? And my argument is that it's actually not very helpful to do that.
Don't think of the pain. And up. Get there now. Small introduction of pain, men. You can't prove at this early stage that your administration is on the ball. then you are not worthy to carry on. And therefore we are carrying you. Carrying this many people within a troop is not feasible. What you've had this week in the form of corrective PT has been a progression, and it continues to progress to get harder and longer. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
722 people is the target out of here. We have failed to achieve it in the last 3 successive years.
Corrective training is seen by many Marines as the only way to toughen up the recruits. But Colonel Lindley sees it as the main reason why so many are leaving. He's proposing radical changes to make training more appealing and to safeguard the future of the Corps.
So if we don't address the Corps underbearing, there won't be a Royal Marines. And the civil servants in Whitehall will simply say, well, actually, you're unsustainable. That's where you can make the difference, in your approach to training and how you get inside the mind of the young man. And treating him how you were treated when you went through training, or the senior NCOs were treated when they went through training, isn't necessarily appropriate to the young man of today. He functions in a different way. 782 Troop, for example, on Sunday morning, all got a tanking. Young men, been here less than 7 days, working 15 hours a day, absolute culture shock, in the gym on a Sunday when normally they'd probably be lying in bed, now getting thrown in the tank for failing to produce the goods. No wonder they don't know what's going on in their lives. Right? Try and use your brains, correct the problem where the man is weak, and never seek to humiliate him. Has no place in this modern society.
A photo of every troop is put up on display. When recruits leave, their faces are erased. By week 10 of the 53 who began, 17 have opted out or been discharged, and 3 have been backtrooped to repeat the early stages of training with another troop. To stay with our troop, the 33 remaining recruits have to pass their first shooting test.
10, 11,
12 last man, Sergeant.
Right, no need to shout, don't impress anybody. Just wanted it nice and crisp, that's all. Right, 12, okay. You aim at the bottom of the bank and the rounds go higher than that, and you know that your rounds are going too high at that range. So take a lower point of aim, okay? May well be that if you aim at the bottom of the bank, your fucking target might go down. Who cares, as long as that target goes down and registers as a hit.
Pass on this one is 36. They can't pass this shoot, they can't progress on any further. Now, they've had, up till now, they've all had extra coaching. However, when you step back, if they slip into their old habits, which a lot of them have still got bad positions and they're not holding the weapon correctly, it's because basically they're not applying themselves.
Right, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-4, and 10-0.
That was a maximum of 60, making a pass mark of 36. Bradley 31, Hodges 17, Meager 38, Elliott 42, Thompson 37, it's a pass, and Quinnell 33, Campbell 31. 4 passes. Fucking abysmal.
Sergeant Thompson's worried that the standard of recruits is falling.
It's got to be said, there are people passing out who wouldn't have passed out a few years back. But it has been seen to be the way ahead so that we can keep the Corps going. Right, it's not just the Corps, I know the armed forces in the whole are on the same boat. So we can keep ourselves going. We need to keep the manpower figures up. However, yeah, it will drop us down eventually when there are so many of these lower scores, people managing to pass out and get through. And it will bring the people down and morale down in units. These 6 out here, 7, are having problems trying to do it. So therefore, what we're trying to do is get them through the shoot. We'll have a quick word with them. We'll get through them, we'll get round them again, try and boost their spirits up so that they don't try and feel despondent, and then we'll give them another crack of the whip. And if they can't make it, we'll do it again.
Let's go.
Who's wrapped? 1, 2, who's wrapped? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, fuck off. We've wrapped with you. You fucking rapped and can't be asked. We've rapped. Fuck off, you failed. You'll get back trooped. And if you want to fucking rap, we'll rap. Simple as that. You've had good instruction, the same as everybody else. Some of you got fucking less than half the points you got on the shoot before that. So if you want to put your hand on your heart and put your hand up and say, yeah, you have rapped, then you can piss off and stop wasting our time. You better start applying yourself, because this is your last chance. And if you don't apply yourself, you will be getting back trooped. Charge your magazines. That was my encouragement.
Week 13, and the 53 original members of the troop are down to a committed 22. Among the survivors is 25-year-old Jamie Thompson, one of the oldest in the troop. After 2 years of backpacking around the world, he surprised himself at how well he's adapting to his new environment.
I wanted to get to week 10. I'm here now. So now I set myself the target at week 15. You can't set yourself the target at week 30. It's got to be broken down. Yeah, they have mentally conditioned us now, and yeah, shocking to think, really, because I don't think there's no change in me. But deep down I know there is.
Another survivor is Neil Meager. He's determined to emulate his dad by making it through training with his original troop. At 17, he's one of the youngest, but he's growing up quickly.
I'm a lot more independent now, just purely through what I've gone through the last 10 weeks. It wasn't until I went away at the weekend up to see my uncle and that you look at people on Civvy Street and what a bunch of wankers. Not everybody in general be wankers, but just most people, like your own age and that, the things they do, the way in which they approach people. I don't know, it's just something that's really, really pathetic.
The troop prepares to leave for Exercise Running Man, the toughest week in training so far. There's an influx of 16 backtroopers who've already failed the exercise and have another chance to pass with our troop. Jamie's worried about the consequences.
They might up the pace a little bit on Running Man, just make things a little bit harder, or just beast the hell out of us to get rid of people. And that's what all the originals we're worried about at the moment, that they're going to go over the top to the beastings. And we've been through their beastings and that, and we've really felt that we've turned the corner. Maybe that's the point of training, to push it.
So is it like Running Man's going to be a cult?
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to get their shotguns out. Put the lame ones down. Running Man is a yomping exercise, which is basically a marching exercise with heavy weight on your back, with your bergen, everything that you're going to go fighting with. And it's on Dartmoor. Dartmoor's a bleak, rolling countryside. We've got to talk with Sergeant Thompson, because we're all starting to pick up just niggly little injuries, some worse than others. There's too many of us were going to sick bay. So he says, you know, this sort of job, you get injuries and you've got to run through it.
If after 13 weeks in training they still cannot grasp the fundamentals of why they're here and what they have to do and how quickly they have to work to achieve that, then already they've developed themselves as the wrong person. They're showing that they have not got the right mentality.
Jamie's mentality is being tested by the arrival of a new corporal who takes a particular dislike to him.
Jumper and a t-shirt. Do you ever wear a jumper and a t-shirt, or do you wear a shirt under a jumper?
A shirt under a jumper.
So why have you got a jumper and a t-shirt?
Just had it all for
Right,
lunch.
get it off.
New corporal. I obviously wanted to make his mark. Makes us really respect him a lot. Really want to work for him now. So we're all a bit pissed off about it.
As one of the strongest recruits, Jamie's put in charge of a group on a night navigation exercise.
We're going out tonight. 5 of us. Each one will navigate with a different leg. It's just going to be pitch black tonight.
Yes.
We have to trust our bearings on the compass and just walk.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of pressure on us at the moment. I'm not particularly rising to it. I'm just feeling very cold. A lot of the other guys are feeling the same as well.
Jamie's getting frustrated with the way the corporals treat the recruits. And things get worse when he turns up at a checkpoint with a dodgy radio he's been given.
0, this is 6, radio check, over. Nah, kaput.
What radio have you got? 349 of it?
350 call. We had a lot of problems with the batteries before we left call. Simon Thompson said there was something wrong with some interference as well.
Yeah, interference because you were so close to the other radio. However, you don't go out if your batteries are dead, do you?
Having got the radio to work, the corporal tells Jamie to check in with Sergeant Thompson at the base, even though the radios are for emergency use only.
Roger, out. See? The corporal back there is telling us to use the radio. Sergeant Thompson just told me this is for emergencies only. And they talk to you like you're a piece of shit on their shoe, like the corporals, and yet you're just following instructions. I just think they're pricks when they behave like that. They behave like kids sometimes, corporals. Sometimes I just shake my head and think, Jesus Christ. They're going on about going to war. They can't communicate with one another. Oh, fucking all shattered.
The training team think that the troops' standards are slipping, and they decide to come down hard on them at the morning inspection.
Ansel! The detail was 8:30! You people never learn!
Thompson, arms bent.
The new corporal thinks Jamie's got an attitude problem and makes an example of him with half an hour of press-ups while the others are inspected.
And stretch. Keep your hands still.
What's that? Dirt. Isn't it? Pack it, get on the flank.
Keep your head nice to the front, Thompson. Don't fucking look about.
Joubert, you show me disdain like that again, Sunshine, I'll give you a day you won't forget.
And if you turn up at a command unit with that attitude, day one, you will get your lights punched out. And that will go on until you adjust that attitude. Get your kit pack, get on the flank. If I speak to you again, you will no longer be with this troop. Do I make myself clear? Yes, move.
Seems to me there are a few attitudes developing because you're all getting pissed off and being picked up and being bollocked. Well, you can get as pissed off as you want, men, because at the end of the day, you're here for as long as it takes for you to reach the standard, whether that be 30 weeks or 2 years. We will just stand back and do this to you for as long as you can take it, until you either opt out or get your arse in gear.
Move. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and motivate yourselves. If you motivate yourselves early on, it stops early. If you don't, it goes on. On the command go, you'll get on your fronts, you'll leopard crawl to the wall and back to the track. Stand by. Go! Like the chief sergeant said last night, do what you're told when you're told. Don't require to think. The idea of leopard crawling is so you can approach the enemy undetected in long grass, or you are low to the ground, making you a harder target. The idea is not to lift your arse in the air, flick your heels up and wave your weapon about. Stop feeling sorry for yourselves. There is about 65 years of experience in the Royal Marines teaching you. But for some reason, you know better after 13 poxy weeks. The training team would much rather go in the field and try and teach you. But if you people can't even dig a hole for your hexy cooker, you can't put all your bungees, lock your arm out, back in the kit, what is the point of us wasting the time? So why don't we just come in the field and thrash the living shit out of you? Get your arms locked out. On the command change, all you'll do is put your arms back out in front, overhand grasp. And change. Don't lean back. Get them up in line with your shoulders. Get your weapon in front of you and lock your arms out. On the command change, you will put the weapon above your head, lock your arms out, feet shoulder width apart, and change. Thank you to that man there. It goes on a little longer. Bailey, both hands on the weapon.
I come back from Running Man last night. I was feeling pretty down. I lay on my bed, looking at all my photos from travelling, and I found one, and I flipped it over and it said November '98, so this time last year. And I was in Australia, having an absolutely wild time. And I started thinking, why did I leave Australia? You know, what am I doing here? I mean, I thought, I don't want to be here no more. It's just a snap decision like that, and I went, yep, I'll opt out.
Group Thompson, attention, quick, march. Halt. Salute.
Okay, Recruit Thompson, please stand at ease. I appreciate you want to opt out. It's well within your right. If at any time over the next few months you think, damn, that was a mistake, I shouldn't have done that, then by all means please rejoin. It's written down in here that you are the sort of bloke that we want, and it'd be good to have you back within the Royal Marines. I appreciate the thought of coming back to do 30 weeks of training at this stage probably is less than satisfactory, but a year down the line you might look at it and go, I wish I was back in the Royal Marines. Grass is always greener, funny old thing. You never know. You might change your mind. If you do, then you'll be more than welcome back. Okay, whatever you do decide to do, good luck in the future. If we do see you back, then good news. Other than that, discharge approved.
Attention, salute. Discharge approved. Left turn. Quick, march.
Slowly and slowly, this place just whittles you down, so chips away at the old stone. And I found in week 13 I just got tired of constantly being beasted. I think my stuff is on the ball, you know, my stuff is folded correctly, I've polished my boots. Christ, I can't get them any shinier. And then they're constantly doing the press-ups, crawling through the cow shit. And you're thinking, why?
Meanwhile, Sergeant Thompson's still struggling to get his message across.
Turner, explain the importance of personal administration to the troop.
Personal administration is important so you can conduct yourself efficiently when in barracks and in the field. Keep yourself hygienic and able to carry out the duties that are expected of you.
Okay, what about if we've got 500 men on board ship, all crammed into a tight tank deck? Explain the importance of your personal administration then.
If someone has poor administration and poor personal hygiene, then the illness, disease, etc. can spread through one man, through 500 men. All of a sudden, 500 men are not able to do their job. There's 500 men at the battlefield.
It's pretty self-explanatory, actually, wasn't it, men? Yeah? In you go. And we should be able to move on, expecting you to be on top of your personal administration, whether you're being checked or not. That slack attitude is what you're going to produce over the next 16 weeks. And guess what's going to happen for the next 16 weeks? Any ideas? Williamson?
The same thing that's going to happen now, Sergeant.
I'll tell you what, what's going to happen now is the tip of the iceberg. Bearing in mind that is an active railway line. Watch the line. 3 ranks on the other side of there, down by the training team. Go.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with this generation. Yeah, I think this generation is more used to standing up for their rights, questioning authority, yeah, a bit. But I don't think there's no problems. It's just when the going gets a bit tough that they can turn around and say, hold on, I've got choices, I've got options. The excuse that this generation is different, I don't think it's valid anymore. It's just something that someone's come up with just to justify why they're doing things, justify why people are leaving, rather than looking at the real problem. You think more, you question more. I think that could probably be a bit of the problem. But I think they've got to move with it as well. They've got to open themselves up a bit, sort of change. We're coming into the tactical phase now. It ain't going to stop. You know, and they say it stops when you get through training. I've only got their word for it. You know, they just say it gets a bit more violent when you get to a unit.
instead of shouting at you, they punch you. So in a way, I feel let down by the holiday brochure.
Jamie's not the only one who's had enough. By week 21, there are only 17 of the original 53 left. In order to stay with the troop, the recruits have to make it through the battle physical test, which consists of a fireman's carry of 200 metres in under 90 seconds, the assault course in under 4 minutes, and a climb of the 30-foot ropes, all with 32 pounds of kit. The final test is the high regain, where the recruits have to hang underneath the rope, then regain their position on top of it. And it's here that recruit Miga, the youngest surviving member of the troop, is struggling.
Good swing going. Good swing, come on. Good swing. Throw your hips forward and throw your head back.
This side.
When I miss it the first time, you just think, oh, fuck. And you've used a lot of energy getting up, you've got constant friction on your hands are slipping off, but you don't make it up, you fall in.
Think about why you're doing it, then you've passed this test.
I just felt gutted, really deep down gutted.
Yeah, if you don't pass this test, you're not going to progress on through training, okay? Right, come on, Megan, compose yourself, stop whinging, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and get up there.
You kick forward, you lose your momentum.
Right, get your hips up and throw your head back. Come on, then really push your hips forward. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, stand up straight. Right, get yourself out.
You're getting on okay, and then you hit this big fucking hurdle, and I think, shit, I've got 9 weeks to go, I don't get this cracked, I go back at training, and that's not what you want, no way. That just put your confidence right down, your fucking morale, everything, you just feel as if you're fucking hopeless. I spoke to my daddy, he said everybody fails things, nobody's perfect, and all he says to me on the phone is it's all in the head, son. Just if you're mentally capable, then like at this stage of training you're physically capable, but it's all in the mind.
It's Miga's last chance. If he fails this time, he'll be back troop 2.
Come on! Yes!
All right, relax.
Come on.
Maybe there is only a finite number of people out there with all the requisite abilities to get through training. Because actually, I'm trying to train the whole man holistically in terms of both his character and his technical ability. And I can only do that by creating a robust, physically determined man who's got the necessary willpower commensurate with going and war fighting anywhere around the world at a moment's notice, when he doesn't know when it's going to end and when he doesn't know what's going to happen to him next. War is a clash of wills, and so he who has most willpower will prevail.
The remaining recruits have demonstrated their willpower and now get to grips with a new skill, the cliff assault, which has long been the Marines' speciality. Although in today's era of peacekeeping and safe havens, there's less call for such aggressive tactics, the Marines still see a need for their attacking capabilities.
It's about being an enabling force to allow the heavier forces to come in, and we can go and secure a beachhead and expand around that area. Yes, it is low-tech. Has it changed very much since 1980? Probably not very much. Has it changed very much since the 1940s? Yeah, a bit. I assure you it is effective.
Their aim is to attack and secure a farm, which is being defended by a role-playing enemy. After weeks on the assault course, it's a relief for the recruits to finally see some action.
Right, you're gonna start fucking peeling around each other. Don't fucking all run together, do you? Cool. Right, so start peeling around. What are you doing about it? Get up here with him. Fucking shoot him in the back.
do.
Go! No, not yet! Fucking stupid you are! You don't fucking make the rules, I do! Get back here! Give us a building clear! Are you done? Room clear! Okay, right, go front! Clear! Clear! Get out of here, come on! Go on, Buzz, get running! Let's go.
The attack may be over, but the hard work's not. The troop, now with 13 originals left, has to get through the hardest physical phase yet, a series of tests designed to push them to their limits. But the trial runs are not going well.
Stretch up, men. Right, that was pathetic. Out of 18, 8 people failed that, men. That's not good enough. If that should pass out, that would be abysmal, that is. You're all going to go around the assault course now. And if you don't work hard enough, we're going to continue doing more fizz until you do. You 4. As fast as you can. Go! Come on, move! Come on, men, as quick as you can!
They're easy, there won't be much point in doing them at all.
I mean, if that's the required effort,
They
you'll
won't
be here
hard,
all
but
afternoon.
it's just the
You
individual.
just got to look at how fast they're coming up here to see women, how hard they are. Basically, they're going ball out, but they're just trundling along. Everyone's worn out. You're not doing it, you know,
Come on, Wheatley.
fresh. You're doing it when you're on your last legs.
Come on, bud. Fucking get there.
Jamie, come on, you've got a good time on
Ignat,
here,
you've got a
mate.
minute to get there and get to the top.
What's going on with you two?
Sick, mate.
Sick
Swallowed
by
too much seawater in pool.
Twisted my
But,
knee, endurance are quite necessary.
To be honest with you, I don't want to be missing out on it.
No.
It's all fitness. It's
I'd
all
rather be
building
doing
up
this
fit.
now than study here.
Come on, Jay.
As you can see, it's hard work. Come on, Kenny.
Right. Leave him there. Get some air. Get some water.
We are training to survive and win in a harsh environment. Therefore, you have to push and you have to train hard. Over the last 4 years, we've had a number of deaths, and that may well mean that we have to tone down the way in which we do some of our training. But at the end of the day, it has to stay hard, otherwise no longer does our cap badge and our beret mean anything.
The recruits still after a beret have failed to come prepared for a shooting test which completes an endurance run. A corporal told them that they wouldn't be shooting, but Sergeant Thompson has other ideas.
So far, none of them have decided to bring magazines with them. That means they've all failed to shoot the test. The test is to complete the run and the shoot. They can't shoot, so they've failed. All of them.
On the whistle blast, I want to see the last man down by the monkey bars. You will cover down one behind each other on the bars. Clear? Right, Sergeant. Go.
Your thumbs around it, Gainsford.
As you've been taught.
Your thumbs around it, Gainsford.
Not covering down. The longer you people stay behind, the people in front are going to have to hang. Get to the back.
Come on, Hayes, get yourself out as quick as you can.
Get to the back. You will stay there until everybody is hanging. When everybody's on, then we will stop.
Come on, Mika.
That's not how you were taught, Hayes.
Hayes, get a grip of your life.
I suggest you find some balls from somewhere, men, and show some determination. Get to the back. You fall off, they stay there longer. Simple, men. As soon as everybody's hanging, then we'll stop. We are yet to get to that position. And go to the back. And follow on. Oh, once one goes, we all go.
When time goes, get in the water. It's all about then, when you're tired and you feel like rocking, you give it a little bit more.
Right, everybody.
Suicide.
Everybody in the water. Get off the bars, in the water. Sit down.
Seize your eyes. Hold on, seize your eyes. Sit down.
A perfect example there of what it's about. But as soon as one man gave up and dropped, everybody started to drop.
Once you've got the determination to carry on, everybody will carry on with you, because they don't want to be the first one to drop out. They don't want to let everybody else down. They haven't got the lack of self-pride. You lot better start working for each other. You better start switching on and thinking about what you're here to do. This commando course was designed to make you people dig out blind when you think you've got nothing left in you. You are going to find the spirit to carry on with that by the time you pass these commando tests, if you pass them. Is that clear?
Yes, yes, Sergeant.
Get out, fall in 3 ranks.
So near to gaining their berets, those who are left don't want future recruits to be spared the beastings and thrashings, fearing it will devalue their own achievement.
We've had so many thrashings I can't remember, okay? You can only make it so easy for somebody to get through training. I mean, what do they want? They want a troop sergeant to come along and tuck us in bed every night.
What a fucking pisser.
We're not here to, you know, to prance around and fucking... We're here to train to kill people if necessary, and to go into, you know, situations of a worst possible scenario. I mean, you've got to have that toughness, you know, pounded into you if necessary. And if you don't have it, then you don't belong here.
I don't think we get thrashed just for the sake of getting thrashed. I think that was all done in the early days. I think now it's just all... Maybe some lads thinking they're already there, and it's just getting brought home to them that they've got fucking the biggest hurdle yet just to cross. It's like the whole 24 weeks of training so far has been like constant all that way, and then now you've got this big hurdle to cross.
The hurdle the recruits still have to cross is the famous 30-miler. They have 8 hours to cover 30 miles across the rough terrain of Dartmoor, carrying 40 pounds of kit.
Those of you that are harbouring injuries and those of you that are harbouring illnesses, you may well feel you need to tell us at checkpoints that you don't think you can crack on. Think twice before you do, okay? You try and tell us that you've had enough, and we tell you you haven't, and then you complete it subsequently. It doesn't say an awful lot for your personal determination, does it?
Keep yourself motivated, keep yourself going. Keep yourself drinking, keep eating. Because before you know it, you just start withering away. And you'll stop checking each other off, and before you know it, someone beside you is going to go down and you won't even notice it.
Wake up, be strong, get on with it, come on!
Maybe 1 or 2 of them might have been harbouring thoughts of, I don't think I can do this, and they'll push it, and they'll go to the absolute limit, because we've told them that when you're the first one to go, then everybody else won't feel so bad and they'll follow. So they'll keep on going. And before you know it, they'll be finished. And they'll think to themselves, that wasn't quite so bad. And I am capable of doing more than I thought I was. And they'll learn a hell of a lot about themselves.
Well on! That's number 1!
That is the hardest fucking thing I've ever done in my life. You don't know what a fucking relief it is to finish it. Feel like shit. Is that Manley's, yeah?
We've got 12 originals left out of the 53 that joined, and they will probably make the grade. And they are all good lads.
Down, fold it over like a shirt and tuck it away.
Some people might say, well, we want 16 left, or we want 24 left. You're right, we do. But can't guarantee that all those 24 will be as good as the 12 that's left.
771 troop, stand, act, easy. Stand easy. In week 15, I told you that combat is an adversarial activity, the province of chance, fear, friction, uncertainty, and death. And those, as I told you then, are your terms of reference. Over the last 3 weeks during this course, you have been on an alcohol ban. You've been on an alcohol ban for good reason. You have clearly earned the right to a beer or 2 this evening. Do not go stupid. This green beret
£13 from Louis Bernard, if that's where you choose to shop, is the ticket to the party, the membership badge. It's an outward sign, a mark of your commitment, determination, stamina and professionalism. Gentlemen, very well done indeed.
It's already started, you know, sort of, you've passed, you're no longer a nod, you're a Marine, you know, you're one of us, sort of thing. But spent 30 weeks together in a training team, so it's about I think it's about time to start getting to know each other properly.
All these sort of operations that we tend to miss out on, it is frustrating.
It would take something like the Falklands War to make us popular again. It's apparently like after the Falklands War, everyone wanted to join up. And now we've got hardly anybody wanting to join up. You know, and nobody wants to spend money on us. The government doesn't want to spend money on us. Nobody wants to send us anywhere. I'm not saying that I'd like to have a war with anybody, but I think that's probably the only thing that could probably save us.
It's the troops' pass-out day, the moment that everyone's been waiting for. But Neil Meagher's just discovered that his dad's been held up working abroad and won't be there to watch him become a Marine.
My mum said that my dad's not coming. So such is life. If he's not here, then he's not here. And just gotta crack on. I can't just fucking mope and drip about it. Fucking let the lads down.
Royal Marines! To your duties! Quick! March!